Yes, let me just mute everyone, Nana, 1 second.
Okay.
And then you can unmute and start. Yes, you can go ahead.
Yeah. ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं चैव ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। अथ श्रीमद्भगवद्गीता अथ द्वितीयोऽध्यायः सांख्ययोगः। संजय उवाच I am going to go slowly. तं तथा कृपयाविष्टम् अश्रुपूर्णाकुलेक्षणं विषीदन्तमिदं वाक्यम् उवाच मधुसूदनः। श्रीभगवानुवाच कुतस्त्वाकश्मलमिदं विषमे समुपस्थितम् अनार्यजुष्टमस्वर्ग्यम् अकीर्तिकरमर्जुन। क्लैब्यम् आस्मकमपार्थ नैतत्त्वय्युपपद्यते क्षुद्रं हृदय दौर्बल्यम् चित्तोत्थिष्ठ परन्तप। अर्जुन उवाच कथं भीष्ममहं संख्ये द्रोणं च मधुसूदन इषुभिः प्रतियोत्स्यामि पूजार्हा वरिसूदन। गुरून् हत्वा हि महानुभाव श्रेयो भोक्तुं भैक्षमपीह लोके हत्वार्धकामांस्तु गुरूनिहैव भुङ्गीय भोगान् रुधिरप्रदिग्धान् न चैतद्विद्मः कदरन्नो गरीयो यद्वा जयेम यदि वा नो जयेयुः यानेव हत्वा न जिजीविषामः तेव स्थिता प्रमुखे धार्तराष्ट्राः कार्पण्यदोषोपहत स्वभावः पृच्छामि त्वां धर्मसम्मूढचेताः श्रेयस्यान्निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्तेऽहं शाधि मां त्वां प्रपन्नं न हि प्रपश्यामि ममापनुद्यात् यच्छोकमुच्छोषणमिन्द्रियाणाम् अवाप्य भूमा वसपत्नं रुद्धं राज्यं सुराणामपि चाधिपत्यम्। संजय उवाच एवमुक्त्वा हृषीकेशं गुडाकेशः परन्तपः न योत्स्य इति गोविन्दम् उक्त्वा तूष्णीं बभूवः तमुवाच हृषीकेशः प्रहसन्निव भारत सेनयोरुभयोर्मध्ये विषीदन्तमिदं वचः श्रीभगवानुवाच अशोच्यानन्वशोचस्त्वं प्रज्ञावादांश्च भाषसे गतासो न गतासूंश्च नानुशोचन्ति पण्डिताः न त्वेवाहं जातु नासं न त्वं नेमे जनाधिपाः न चैव न भविष्यामः सर्वे वयमतः परम् देहिनोऽस्मिन् यथा देहे कौमारं यौवनं जरा तथा देहान्तरप्राप्तिः धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यते मात्रा स्पर्शास्तु कौन्तेय शीतोष्णसुखदुःखदाः आगमापायिनो नित्याः तां तितिक्षस्व भारत यं हि न व्यथयन्त्येते पुरुषं पुरुषर्षभा समदुःखसुखं धीरं सोऽमृतत्वाय कल्पते नासतो विद्यते भावो नाभावो विद्यते सतः उभयोरपि दृष्टोऽन्तः स्त्वनयोस्तत्त्वदर्शिभिः अविनाशि तु तद्विद्धि येन सर्वमिदं ततं विनाशमव्ययस्यास्य न कश्चित् कर्तुमर्हति अन्तवन्त इमे देहाः नित्यस्योक्ता शरीरिणः अनाशिनो प्रमेयस्य तस्मादुध्यस्व भारत येनं वेत्ति हन्तारं यश्चैनं मन्यते हतम् उभौ तौ न विजानीतः नायं हन्ति न हन्यते न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचित् नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूयः अजो नित्य शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणः न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे वेदा विनाशिनं नित्यं येनमजमव्ययं कथं स पुरुषः पार्थ कं घातयति हन्तिकं वासांसि जीर्णानि यथा विहाय नवानि गृह्णाति नरोपराणि तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णानि अन्यानि संयाति नवानि देहि नैनं छिन्दन्ति शस्त्राणि नैनं दहति पावकः न चैनं क्लेदयन्त्यापः न शोषयति मारुतः अच्छेद्योऽयमदाह्योऽयम् अक्लेद्यो शोष्य एव च नित्य सर्वगतस्थाणुः अचलोऽयं सनातनः अव्यक्तोऽयमचिन्त्योऽयम् अविकार्योऽयमुच्यते तस्मादेवं विदित्वैनं नानुशोचितुमर्हसि अथ चैनं नित्यजातं नित्यं वा मन्यसे मृतं तथापि त्वं महाबाहो नैवं शोचितुमर्हसि जातस्य हि ध्रुवो मृत्युः ध्रुवं जन्म मृतस्य च तस्मादपरिहार्येद्धे न त्वं शोचितुमर्हसि अव्यक्तादीनि भूतानि व्यक्तमध्यानि भारत अव्यक्तनिधनान्येव तत्र का परिदेवना आश्चर्यवत् पश्यति कश्चिदेनम् आश्चर्यवत् वदति तथैव चान्यः आश्चर्यवच्चैनमन्यः शृणोति श्रुत्वाप्येनं वेद न चैव कश्चित् देही नित्यमवध्योऽयं देहे सर्वस्य भारत तस्मात् सर्वाणि भूतानि न त्वं शोचितुमर्हसि स्वधर्ममपि चावेक्ष्य न विकम्पितुमर्हसि धर्म्याधियुद्धात् श्रेयोऽन्यत् क्षत्रियस्य न विद्यते यदृच्छया चोपपन्नं स्वर्गद्वारमपावृतं सुखिनः क्षत्रियाः पार्थ लभन्ते युद्धमीदृशम् अध चेत्त्वमिमं धर्म्यं सङ्ग्रामं न करिष्यसि ततः स्वधर्मं कीर्तिं च हित्वा पापमवाप्स्यसि अकीर्तिं चापि भूतानि कथयिष्यन्ति ते अव्ययाम् सम्भावितस्य च कीर्तिः मरणादतिरिच्यते भयाद्रणादुपरतं मंस्यन्ते त्वां महारथाः येषां च त्वं बहुमतः भूत्वा यस्यसि लाघवम् अवाप्य वादांश्च बहून् वदिष्यन्ति तवाहिताः निन्दन्तस्तव सामर्थ्यं ततो दुःखतरं नु किम् हतो वा प्राप्स्यसे स्वर्गं जित्वा वा भोक्ष्यसे महीम् तस्मादुत्तिष्ठ कौन्तेय युद्धाय कृतनिश्चयः सुखदुःखे समे कृत्वा लाभालाभौ जयाजयौ ततो युद्धाय युज्यस्व नैवं पापमवाप्स्यसि एषा ते अभिहिता साङ्ख्ये बुद्धिर्योगे त्विमां शृणु बुद्ध्या युक्तो यया पार्थ कर्मबन्धं प्रहास्यसि नेहाभिक्रमनाशोऽस्ति प्रत्यवायो न विद्यते स्वल्पमप्यस्य धर्मस्य त्रायते महतो भयात् व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिः एकेह कुरु नन्दन बहुशाखाह्यनन्ताश्च बुद्धयो व्यवसायिनाम् यामिमां पुष्पितां वाचं प्रवदन्च विपश्चितः वेदवादरताः पार्थ नान्यदस्तीति वादिनः कामात्मानः स्वर्गपराः जन्म कर्म फलप्रदां क्रिया विशेषबहुलां भोगैश्वर्यगतिं प्रति भोगैश्वर्यप्रसक्तानां तयापहृतचेतसां व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिः समाधौ न विधीयते त्रैगुण्यविषया वेदाः निस्त्रैगुण्यो भवार्जुन निर्द्वन्द्वो नित्यसत्त्वस्थो निर्योगक्षेमात्मवान् यावानर्ध उदपाने सर्वतः सम्प्लुतोदके तावान् सर्वेषु वेदेषु ब्राह्मणस्य विजानतः कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्मफलहेतुर्भूः मा ते सङ्गोऽस्त्वकर्मणि योगस्तः कुरु कर्माणि सङ्गं त्यक्त्वा धनञ्जय सिद्ध्यसिद्ध्यो समो भूत्वा समत्वं योग उच्यते दूरेण ह्यवरं कर्म बुद्धियोगात् धनञ्जय बुद्धौ शरणमन्विच्छ कृपणाः फलहेतवः बुद्धियुक्तो जहातिह उभे सुकृतदुष्कृते तस्माद् योगाय युज्यस्व योगः कर्मसु कौशलम् कर्मजं बुद्धियुक्ता हि फलं त्यक्त्वा मनीषिणः जन्मबन्धविनिर्मुक्ताः पदं गच्छन्त्यनामयम् यदा ते मोहकलिलं बुद्धिर्व्यतितरिष्यति तदा गन्तासि निर्वेदं श्रोतव्यस्य श्रुतस्य च श्रुतिविप्रतिपन्ना ते यदा स्थास्यति निश्चला समाधावचला बुद्धिः तदा योगमवाप्स्यसि अर्जुन उवाच स्थितप्रज्ञस्य का भाषा समाधिस्तस्य केशव स्थितधि किं प्रभाषेत किमासीत व्रजेत किम् श्रीभगवानुवाच प्रजहाति यदा कामान् सर्वान् पार्थमनोगतान् आत्मन्येवात्मना तुष्टः स्थितप्रज्ञस्तदुच्यते दुःखेष्वनुद्विग्नमनाः सुखेषु विगतस्पृहः वीतरागभयक्रोधः स्थितधीर्मुनिरुच्यते यः सर्वत्रानभिस्नेहः तत्तत्प्राप्य शुभाशुभं नाभिनन्दति न द्वेष्टि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता यदा संहरते चायं कूर्मोऽङ्गानीव सर्वशः इन्द्रियाणीन्द्रियार्थेभ्यः तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता विषया विनिवर्तन्ते निराहारस्य देहिनः रसवर्ज्यं रसोऽप्यस्य परं दृष्ट्वा निवर्तते यततो ह्यपि कौन्तेय पुरुषश्च विपश्चितः इन्द्रियाणि प्रमादीनि हरन्ति प्रसभं मनः तानि सर्वाणि संयम्य युक्त आसीत मत्परः वशे हि यस्येन्द्रियाणि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता ध्यायतो विषयान् पुंसः सङ्गस्तेषुपजायते सङ्गात् सञ्जायते कामः कामात् क्रोधोऽभिजायते क्रोधात् भवति सम्मोहः सम्मोहात् स्मृतिविभ्रमः स्मृतिभ्रंशात् बुद्धिनाशः बुद्धिनाशात् प्रणश्यति रागद्वेषवियुक्तैस्तु विषयानिन्द्रियैश्चरन् आत्मवश्यैर्विधेयात्मा प्रसादमधिगच्छति प्रसादे सर्वदुःखानां हानिरस्योपजायते प्रसन्नचेतसो ह्याशुः बुद्धिः पर्यवतिष्ठते नास्ति बुद्धिरयुक्तस्य न चायुक्तस्य भावना न चाभावयतः शान्तिः अशान्तस्य कुतः सुखम् इन्द्रियाणां विचरतां यन्मनोनुविधीयते तदस्य हरति प्रज्ञां वायुर्नावमिवाम्भसि तस्माद्यस्य महाबाहो निगृहीतानि सर्वशः इन्द्रियाणि इन्द्रियार्थेभ्यः तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता या निशा सर्वभूतानां तस्यां जागर्ति संयमी यस्यां जागृति भूतानि सा निशा पश्यतो मुनेः आपूर्यमाणमचलप्रतिष्ठं समुद्रमाप प्रविशन्ति यद्वत् तद्वत् कामायं प्रविशन्ति सर्वे स शान्तिमाप्नोति न कामकामी विहाय कामान्य सर्वान् पुमांश्चरति निःस्पृहः निर्ममो निरहङ्कारः स शान्तिमधिगच्छति एषा ब्राह्मी स्थिते पार्थ नैनां प्राप्य विमुह्यति स्थित्वा श्यामन्तकालेऽपि ब्रह्म निर्वाणमृच्छति ॐ तत्सत् इति श्रीमन्महाभारते शतसाहस्रिकायां संहितायां वैयासिक्यां श्रीमद्भीष्मपर्वणि श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्म विद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुन संवादे सांख्ययोगो नाम द्वितीयोऽध्यायः अथ तृतीयोऽध्यायः अर्जुन उवाच जायसि चेत् कर्मणस्ते मता बुद्धिर्जनार्दन तत्किं कर्मणि घोरे मां नियोजयसि केशव. Please go to the 14th chapter.
Nana, I will chant this, Nana. You take a break.
Which one?
I will chant the 14th chapter.
Okay. Okay.
Take a breather.
Yeah.
अथ श्रीमद्भगवद्गीता चतुर्दशोऽध्यायः गुणत्रयविभागयोगः श्रीभगवानुवाच
Hari Om, you please project the 14th chapter.
Oh, it is not projected?
No.
I can okay, I'll project it.
This is for the benefit of others who will be listening to you.
I know. I thought everyone was able to see that.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
You can see it now, right?
Okay.
Okay. Gunatraya vibhaga yogaha Shri Bhagavanuvacha Param bhuya pravakshyami jnananam jnanamuttamam yajñātvā munaya sarve param siddhimito gataha idam jnanamupashritya mama sadharmyamagataha sargepi nopajayante pralaye na vyathanti cha mama yo nirmahad brahma tasmin garbham dadamyaham sambhava sarva bhutanam tato bhavati bharata sarvayonishu kaunteya मूर्तयः सम्भवन्ति याः तासां ब्रह्म महद्योनिः अहं बीजप्रदः पिता सत्वं रजस्तम इति गुणाः प्रकृतिसम्भवाः निबध्नन्ति महाबाहो देहे देहिनमव्ययम् तत्र सत्वं निर्मलत्वात् प्रकाशकमनामयं सुखसङ्गेन बध्नाति ज्ञानसङ्गेन चानघा रजो रागात्मकं विद्धि तृष्णासङ्गसमुद्भवं तन्निबध्नाति कौन्तेय कर्मसङ्गेन देहिनम्
तमस्त्वज्ञानजं विद्धि तमः तु अज्ञानजं विद्धि तमस्त्वज्ञानजं विद्धि
तमस्त्वज्ञानजं विद्धि मोहनं सर्वदेहिनां प्रमादालस्य निद्राभिः तन्निबध्नाति भारत सत्वं सुखे संजयति Rajah karmani bharata jnanamavritya tu tamaha pramade sanjayatyuta. Rajastamaschabhibhuvya sattvam bhavati bharata rajassattvam tamaschaiva tamasattvam rajastatha. Sarvadvareshu dehesmin prakasha upajayate jnanam yada tada vidyat tadvriddhim sattva लोभः प्रवृत्तिरारम्भः कर्मणामशमः स्पृहा रजस्येतानि जायन्ते विवृद्धे भरतर्षभा अप्रकाशो प्रवृत्तिश्च प्रमादो मोह एव च तस्तमस्येतानि जायन्ते विवृद्धे कुरु नन्दन यदा सत्त्वे प्रवृद्धे तु प्रलयं याति देहभृत् तदोत्तमविदां लोकान् अमलान् प्रतिपद्यते रजसि प्रलयं गत्वा कर्मसङ्गिषु जायते तथा प्रलीनस्तमसि मूढयोनिषु जायते कर्मणः सुकृतस्याहुः सात्विकं निर्मलं फलं रजसस्तु फलं दुःखम् अज्ञानं तमसः फलम् सत्त्वात् संजायते ज्ञानं रजसो लोभ एव च प्रमादमोहौ तमसो भवतो ज्ञानमेव च ऊर्ध्वं गच्छन्ति सत्त्वस्थाः मध्ये तिष्ठन्ति राजसाः जघन्यगुणवृत्तस्ता अधो गच्छन्ति तामसाः नान्यं गुणेभ्यः कर्तारं यदा द्रष्टानुपश्यति गुणेभ्यश्च परं वेत्ति मद्भावं सोऽधिगच्छति गुणानेतानतीत्यत्रीन् देहि देहसमुद्भवान् जन्म मृत्युजरा दुःखैः विमुक्तो मृतमश्नुते.
Hari Om. Yeah.
Yeah.
Please get back to the 6th verse.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have covered up to the 6th verse yesterday. Any doubts from yesterday's discussions?
I think Mrinal, you had the doubt, right, about the difference between we are encountering a lot of terms like jiva, dehi, kshetri, kshetrajna, kshetram. So yesterday in our manana we had a little we needed a little clarification. To is dehi, kshetri, kshetrajna and paramatma, atma, jivatma are they all the same?
They are all the same, except that the Jivatma, okay, and that's also called Pratyagatma, that is covered by Ajnanam, whereas Atma is not covered. Atma, when it is covered by Ajnanam, has become as though the Jivatma. That as though is very, very important. It's not as, it is not that it has become an Ajnani. He has as though become an Ajnani. The Paramatma which is Atma, which is Kshetrajna, which is also Kshetri, has as though become Jivatma. Ajnanena avrutam jnanam. Tena bhavati Jivatma.
Then
Okay?
what is Jiva then? Jiva is the same as Jivatma?
Yes, yes.
And what about Dehi?
Dehi. Dehi
Same
is
as
the same
Kshetri?
as Dehi is the same as Jiva.
Jiva.
Yeah,
So that is enveloped by ignorance.
correct. See,
And
Dehi, whether he is Jiva or Kshetrajna, it depends on the context. Like in so many places, Atma is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita. Depending on the context, Atma may mean the visible Stola Shariram. Atma may mean the Jnanendriyas. Atma may mean the Antakarna. Once in a while, Atma may mean only the Manaha. And very rarely, Atma means the Paramatma. Because the entire burden of the Gita teaching is for us to rediscover ourselves, which is Atma. Pashyannatmani kechit. Pashyannatmani kechit, some people, they perceive in their mind like that. That's why, once in a while, Dehi really means Kshetrajnaha, Kshetri, Paramatma, Atma. These are all synonyms for Atma. Yeah. Is that
so Nanaji, Kshetri, Jivi, Jivatma, Dehi, they're all the synonyms with the Ajnana, isn't it?
No. We must get this very cleanly. We should not be mixing things. What I said is the Dehi, once in a while, depending on the context, may mean the Jivi. Jivi is Ajnana Bhuishtam. Okay? He's smeared with Ajnanam. Okay? Whereas Kshetrajna, Kshetri, Paramatma, Atma, these are all synonyms for the same thing. Okay?
Synonyms for the same thing in the sense?
It is Paramatma.
Paramatma. So,
Yeah.
So Paramatma, Kshetrajna, Kshetri are all on one side.
Atma also.
So they're all not covered by ignorance. That is what we should understand.
Correct.
And Dehi, Jiva, Jivatma are all those that as though enveloped by ignorance.
Correct.
Correct.
But what we are discussing may not apply to Dehi sometimes, depending on the context.
Correct. Okay.
Like Bhagavan said, Dehi nityam avadhyoyam dehe sarvasya bharata. Dehi nityam. When he is talking of nityam, he is not ajnana bhuishtam. Okay? Whereas in another verse, Dehi nosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yavanam jara tatha dehantara praptihi. There the Dehi is the Jiva. The earlier, Dehi nityam avadhyoyam, that Dehi is Paramatma indeed. So it depends on the context. We need to take the essence of Bhagavan's teaching.
Okay.
Okay?
Done.
Yeah, all these things came up in yesterday's Manana, is it?
Yeah, because we were so many terms are there.
Yeah.
In some contexts, it's like indweller, some contexts it is Atma. So we just wanted a bit of clarity. There was no.
Very good discussion. That is how your Manana class should be all the time. Okay, you must have relevant doubts and requisite clarifications. Okay, can we go forward?
Yes.
Yeah.
Anybody else has any other questions regarding chapter 12?
आश्चर्यवत् पश्यति कश्चिदेनम् आश्चर्यवत् वदति तथैव चान्यः आश्चर्यवच्चैनमन्यः शृणोति श्रुत्वाप्येनं वेद न चैव कश्चित् नायमात्मा प्रवचनेन लभ्यो न मेधया बहुना श्रुतेन. This is from the Kathopanishad. This, what I have just now read, is from the Kathopanishad. Nayamatma pravachanaina labhyo na medhaya na bahuna shrutena yeme vaisha vrunute tena labhyaha. Whoever it chooses, Atma, whoever it chooses, those people will know it. Atma, what is his choosing? Atma is considered to be akarta, isn't it? The meaning is, in this context, Yama was telling Nachiketa, whose antakarana is absolutely clean, absolutely parishuddha. In those antakaranas, Atma will take residence. That is, it will reveal itself. Okay?
Yeah. There is one question.
It is
Yeah.
very, very natural that you have yesterday got all those doubts. It's very, very natural. If you did not have those doubts, that means you are simply passing the Manana session, spending time. It is very fair that you got these doubts. Yeah.
There is one more question regarding the enlightened beings. When people realize themselves, they do not come back. They do not have a rebirth.
They do not?
They don't have a rebirth. They are out of the rebirth death cycle.
True.
Correct. Now, keeping that on one side, on the other side, Bhagavan says, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata. So he takes birth. So now, who is this? Aren't these enlightened beings the same as Bhagavan? So is it that from that universal set that that Bhagavan takes birth? Like, for instance, Ramana Maharshi and Adi Shankaracharya, they were all realized souls. So can we say, when Bhagavan says Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata, it is from this universal set that the energy is born as some, another avatara. So where is that?
Yeah. Okay. Good question. See, when do we take birth again? Because of what?
Prarabdha, because our sanchita
Because
is still there.
Because of the karma.
Karma.
The sanchita karma. Bhagavan, who is a jnani, does he have sanchita karma?
No.
Why doesn't he have? You know, correctly answered. But you must answer this question also. Why doesn't he have sanchita karma?
Because he is na karta na bhokta. That is why.
Because he is the Atma Swarupa. Atma is akarta, abhokta. He has realized that when there is an akarta, there is no karma phala that will attach to him, be it what was attached earlier, even that jnanagni dagdha karmani tamahu panditam buddhaha. Is it not that is what Bhagavan's prabodha? Even the sanchita karma will be nicely burnt away. For such a person, for Bhagavan, when he is taking birth because of the samishti bhakta pradeya desire. samasta bhakta koti desires. Tesham eva anukampadham aham ajnanajam tamaha nashayamyatma bhavastaha jnanadipena bhasvata. So many ways Bhagavan has mentioned. He takes birth. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyutthanam adharmasya tada atmanam srujamyaham. Why was he taking birth? Ajopisan, earlier verse in the same chapter, earlier verse to this. Ajopisan, even though unborn, Ajopisan, avyayatma, I am indeclinable. Ajopisan, avyayatma, bhutanam, ishwaropisan, even though I am the Ishvara of all beings. Prakritim swamadhishtaya, sambhavami atmamayaya. Riding Prakriti as though Swamadhishtaya Sambhavami Atmamayaya. I will as though project myself, as though create myself. Why Paritranaya Sadhunam, like you said? Bhagavan's is not a birth like ours. It is an as though birth. That is what Bhagavan has said a number of places. Avyaktam Vyaktimapannam Manyante Mam Abuddhayaha Param Bhavam Majanantaha Mama Bhuta Maheshwaram. Avyaktam, even though I am not manifest. Because I am in this Krishna avatara, people, Abuddhayaha, Buddhihinaha, Abuddhayaha, people who are deluded, they think that I have taken birth. Avyaktam Vyaktimapannam Manyante Mam Abuddhayaha Param Bhavam Majanantaha Mama Bhuta Maheshwaram. See, all these things will have to be assimilated together. One sloka, another sloka, that is connected to this, this is connected to that. Indeed, it is very good to have doubts. Because without doubts, the manana becomes kind of meaningless, if you allow me to say so. Manana is to knock off all doubts. Shravana, manana. Manana is to remove the samshayas. And nidhijasana is what? To remove the viparita bhavana. Even though we have heard nicely, even though we have removed the samshayas, what happens is we have the viparita bhavana. Once in a while we'll get stuck thinking, who are you? I'm the body. What is this you are asking? Silly question. This kind of an answer we will give. Why? Viparita bhavana. Ananta koti janmanam. We have been carrying this bhavana. And because of that bhavana, the answer comes automatically that we are the body. Aham dehaha. Aham manaha. Right?
Jai Gurudev Nanaji. Agyani, Stilla Agyani, when he leaves his body, what is his understanding about the Brahman? Does he know the truth when he dies, or still
You
he'll
are
be
talking of Ajnani or Jnani?
Agyani,
Ajnani.
who is not realized yet?
Ajnani, what is the definition of Ajnani? Kind of one who does not know himself. Is
Yes.
it not?
Yes.
He does not have the Atma, Anatma, Viveka Buddhi. Is it right?
Right.
He does not have the Atma, Anatma, Vivechana. When such is the case, when he dies, where does he go? Where does he go? This chapter is going to answer where does he go. It depends at the time of death. If he is Sattva-guna Pradhana, then he will go to some higher lokas, like the Swargaloka. If he is Rajoguna Pradhana, he will go to Matyaloka, like the Bhuloka. And if he is a tamoguna pradhana, he will be born as maybe a tiger or like even a mosquito. It depends on the preponderance of the tamoguna in that person at the time of leaving the body.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Your question will be very adequately answered in a few verses from now.
Okay.
Only thing is we don't have that much time. We have some 12, 13 minutes, but we will see, no problem. So in the 6th verse, what we have picked up, Tatra Sattvam. Can I go forward?
Yes, yes, Nana.
Are all your questions answered?
Yes.
Good to have questions. Only thing is, don't digest the questions. Don't simply digest the questions. Get the answers and digest the answers. Tatra sattvam nirmalatvat prakashakamanayam sukasangena badhnati jnanasangena chanaga. What did we learn yesterday? Hey Anagha, hey Arjuna, sinless fellow. Tatra, there. Sattvam nirmalatvat, because it is pure. Prakashakam, and it is illuminating. Illuminating is what? What does it illuminate? It as though illuminates the sense organs and the mind, as though is important, because the illuminating agency is kshetrajna. This sattva guna, which happens in the mind, has as though rendered the mind almost pure. And in that pure mind, the illuminating kshetrajna will manifest himself as though. That is the meaning. Prakashakam is illuminating, means that mirror, which is the antakarana, it will very nicely give the pratibimba. That is the illumination. Illuminating anamayam, without any problem, physical or mental, without affliction, without disease, okay, and without any doubts also, without affliction, sukha sanghena, with a connection to pleasure, jnana sanghena, with a connection to jnana, that binds. It is actually, if you consider, every day between 7 and 8, all of us, without exception, whoever has been participating in this Zoom class, or not even participating, they are listening to this later on, the recorded version. All those people conform to this. They jnana sangena, sukha sangena, badnanti. They are getting bound by the sattva guna in this manner. Sattva guna binds the jiva with an yearning for pleasure. Sukha sangena, it does not want any affliction. Jnana sangena, it always wants to know. It always wants to know. And trying to know and knowing, it will gain immense satisfaction. Now, this is where we must be very, very careful. When sattva-guna binds the jiva in pleasure, that means what? The pleasure is an object of the antakarana or no? The pleasure,
Yes.
is it an object of the antakarana or no?
Yes.
It is. Now, jnana sangena, with a connection to jnana, you want to know more about it. You want to know, like the questions you people have asked today, you wanted to know more. So, in this period of 1 hour, I'm being very, very careful. 7 to 8 in the evening, our time, USA, Phoenix time. 7 to 8 in the evening, all of us, without exception, generally, are getting connected to pleasure, are getting connected to jnana. Why pleasure? The jnana, when we acquire, that gives us pleasure also. So for these two, we are driven, badhananti, driven, binds the jiva by the sattva-guna. Sattva-guna binds the jiva like this. Now this binding, is it a quality of freedom? This binding, is it a quality of freedom
No.
which we are seeking? Aham mumukshuhu, is it not? Moksho me bhuyat iti ichha. Now when it is binding in one way or the other, is it not bondage? Can you by yourself be happy without anything that is needed for you to be happy? If you recollect this second chapter, Prajahati yada kaman sarvan parthamanogatan atmani eva atmana tushtaha. He is santushtaha, tushtaha, he is kind of triptivantaha. He is as though he is contented within himself, by himself, with no other external input. Whereas this sattva guna is binding you and I with connection to pleasure and connection to jnana. This is another bondage. Though this bondage is to be welcomed compared to the other bondages created by the rajoguna and tamoguna, even this is bondage. We must be careful to understand this and be free from even the bondage of the sattva guna. Trigunatitaha bhava. That is the prabodha of Bhagavan.
Nistraigunyo bhava.
Yeah, we must very carefully understand, because I have sattva guna, I am attending this class, I am learning Gita. That gives you a lot more ahankara, which is good or bad.
Not good.
That is avoidable. You whether Gita or no Gita, all of us are ahankaris. Okay, if Gita is adding a little more ounces of ahankara to us, Gita is not serving its purpose. Either Gita's intention is not that, but we are not benefiting from that. Jnana sangena chanaga. With acquisition of jnana, if that jnana does not make us better people tomorrow, to be in a position to better understand the slokas of the Gita, then this jnana that we have acquired today is meaningless. I'm sorry, I'm being very, very caustic. If this kind of a jnana is likely to give us a little more pride tomorrow, then this kind of a jnana we would better be without. Understand? That we have to be very, very careful. Tatra sattvam nirmalatvat prakashakam anamayam sukasangena badhnati. That badhnati must not be forgotten. It binds. Jnana sangena chanaga. Sukasangena, jnana sangena, he anagha Arjuna, badhnati, it binds. Now what does Raja do? After this, it is very easy to understand the Rajoguna and Tamoguna. Rajo ragatmakam vidhi, Trishna sanga samudbhavam, tanni badhnati kaunteya, karma sangena dehinam. He kaunteya Arjuna, Rajaha ragatmakam vidhi, Trishna sanga samudbhavam. It has the ability to color the mind, I believe, as though. He kaunteya Arjuna, Rajas vidhi, this rajoguna, vidhi, understand, ragatmakam. It is in the form of a coloring of the mind. It has got the capacity to color the mind. And Shankaracharya gives a beautiful example, like a beautiful colorless white cloth. When you start dyeing that, what happens? The color of the dye is attached to the white cloth, which is colorless. And that color does not go later. It becomes very, very difficult to remove the color from a dyed cloth. So too, unless we are careful regarding this Rajoguna, because it is going to dye the mind, it is going to color the mind in a different way. And that coloring of the mind will stay for a long, long time unless you are from the beginning careful. Rajo ragatmakam vidhi, Trishna sanga samudbhavam, and it is the cause. Trishna is what? Longing. Okay? Trishna, sanga, asanga. Trishna, asanga. Sanga is attachment. Asanga is absolutely, irrevocably attached. Asangaha, samudbhavam. It is the cause of longing and well-entrenched attachment. See that beautiful words picked up by Acharya, well-entrenched attachment. That is the asangaha. Tat dehinam, the indweller of the body. Who is that fellow? That is Jiva, indweller of the body. Karma sangena, by connection with action, nibadhanante, completely binds. In the case of Satvaguna, what was mentioned is badhananti eva. Here, nibadhananti, totally bound. Totally bound. Okay? O son of Kunti, Rajas, may you know, is in the form of a coloring of the mind, causing longing and well-entrenched attachment by connection with action that completely binds the indweller of the body. By connection with action means what? You will be restless if you don't act. And while acting, you are equally restless. This is the paradox regarding the Rajoguna. And what does Tamoguna do? Tamastvajnanajam vidhi mohanam sarvadehinam pramada alasya nidrabihi tannibadhnati bharata. This tamoguna is manifest when in all of us, no exception. In all of us, predominantly, it will be available at some time during the day. When is that?
When we sleep.
When we are feeling sleepy. And when we sleep, we really don't know when exactly we have slept. Because if we knew when exactly we slept, at that time we were awake or asleep.
Awake.
That is how it is, the tamoguna. It does a lot of good things, but it does a lot of bad things. Tamastvajnanajam vidhi mohanam sarvadehinam pramada alasya nidrabihi tannibadhnati bharata. We will simply run through the Tatparya. We will cover this verse tomorrow again. O descendant of Bharata, Tamas, may you know, is born of ignorance. And why is he saying he is born of ignorance? How about Sattva-guna and Rajoguna? Are they not born of ignorance? That also will cover tomorrow. And because these three gunas are from where?
Maya.
From Maya, isn't it? And Maya is what?
Prakriti.
Maya is the samishti avidya, the integrated whole of the avidyas of all of us. Whereas the Vyashti Maya is avidya for us. The differentiated Maya in each one of us is avidya. And Bhagavan is saying it's born of ignorance. We'll see this. Tamastvajnanajam vidhi mohanam sarvadehina. Mohanam sarvade. It has the power to delude everybody. Everybody means sarvadehina means people who have the bhavana that they are the deha. Ahameva dehaha iti kupi manyeta. That kind of a person will be deluded into keeping on believing that he is only that. It binds the persons completely by indifference, slothfulness, and sleep. Indifference is unconcerned. Indifference, slothfulness, and sleep. We'll see this tomorrow, okay? Hari Om. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina. Sarve Santu Niramayaha. Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu. ma kaschit dukkha bhag bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om, everybody.
Hari Om, Nana.
Om Nanaji.